Aoi asks his mother when he will go to school, or he is already attending one. It was already May, he should be in second year of high school. His mother is surprised that Aoi wants to go to school, and asks him why he wants to attend school. Surprised, Aoi tells her that it is normal for him to attend school and he wants to have friends, and if he does not study then how he will be able to get a job in the future? His mother never imagined that her Aoi-chan would work. She always thought to keep him forever. They explain to us that in this world men can survive without working if they use various support systems. But she knew that her son needed friends. Staying at home all day is boring. It was not good to overprotect Aoi-chan so much, so she starts to think about the nearest boys' schools, although there may not be many nearby. Her family was in the living room looking for the best options for her Oni-chan to study. It was a bit difficult since most of the boys' schools were far away. Aoi wonders why they are only choosing boys' schools. He is also a boy and he wants for his youth with girls. He was already decided he wanted to enter a co-ed school. So he talks and asks them about co-ed schools, but as he asks this, a silence invades the room and the atmosphere becomes gloomy. His mother asks him what he means by mixed. Aoi tells him that he means schools where boys and girls attend. His sister corrects him by saying that she means male scholarship students in some girls' schools. Aoi realizes that maybe in this world there are no mixed schools as such, there are only boys and girls schools. He doesn't like the idea of going to a school where there are only boys. He asks if there is any possibility for him to attend as one of those male scholarship students. All at the same time and forcefully told him no. His mother knew it since Aoi-chan has amnesia, has forgotten the fear to the women that she had. She supposed that that was the reason of why now he can interact with them in a natural way. Her sister Sakura worries because her Ani-chan after the accident had not interacted with a woman apart from them and the nurses. Besides, that place is not safe for the men. Her brother does not realize how hungry of man the women of the world are. She would make sure to teach him how dangerous the women are. The day after her family denied her admission to a school as a male scholarship student, her mother told her about all kinds of incidents against men, abuse, kidnapping and more. She didn't usually watch the news so she didn't notice. Apparently it's not uncommon for these incidents to happen. The news was reporting about a 30-year-old man who was drugged with a sleeping pill while drinking alcohol and then knocked unconscious and had indecent acts committed on him. The police arrested 2 girls, one of which was a high school student. Basically, if you get careless easily, some women will kidnap you and you know what will happen next. Deep down, his mother had always wanted to do indecent things with him. She regretted being such a mother. She knew that her other daughters also wanted to do things with Aoi-chan, but they were afraid that he would hate them, so they didn't try anything. But if Aoi-chan came on to them, they might attack him in the same way as the women who caused those incidents. Then her sister suddenly entered his room. She angrily tells him that she will let him experience firsthand what it is like to be afraid of women. For example, if a man and a woman are alone in a room like this, a woman with a weak mind will surely attack a man. She will prove it, so she asks him to try to resist. Aoi asks him if it was okay for him to resist, but Samaire brushes aside her worries by telling him that she is learning martial arts. She had to make sure her brother has a sense of danger. She had to experience how risky a woman can be. Of course she wouldn't do anything lustful, but she hoped it would make him feel a little threatened. She could become an object of fear for her Aoi-chan. Honestly, she didn't like that, but someone had to do it. She wouldn't forgive herself if something happened to her in the future because of her innocence. In the end, Aoi defeated his sister in combat. He explains that in his previous world he had no family and didn't fit into the orphanage, so he used to go very often to a nearby dojo to play and was trained by a man who was very tough. Aoi explains to her sister that he is a man so he can take care of things. We see how this situation triggers a crazy reaction in her sister. She thought that Aoi wanted to do it with her in that place. Then it was Sakura who came to talk to him what women can be. She tells him that he doesn't understand what women are secretly thinking. Women in particular are terrifying to men. She even tells him that she is a bit like that too. At that moment he realizes that his angelic Sakura is actually a devilish Sakura in secret. Maybe she needed to calm down, so he offers to give her a hug. She didn't have this plan. She came to scare his Oni-chan and tell him the bad things women do, but not to say yes to everything. She was a very foolish one. But her Aoi was too kind. If she told her friends, they would tell her that you are a little too out of the ordinary guy. His family convinced him to quit that school thing and better take care of the housework. In the old world he was alone and without family. In this world he was less free than before, but he is lucky to be surrounded by his family. Her mother was happy since her Aoi-chan renounced to the idea of attending the school only for girls. He did not have any interest to attend the school only for boys. They were very happy that Aoi-chan is at home. Sakura thought almost the same that her mother. She was also happy, but at the same time she felt guilty since this happiness was the result of her selfishness when bending the will of her Oni-chan. It was true that to go to a school only for girls was dangerous, but she also wants him to do what she wants. She felt restless. Her other sister had similar thoughts, but with a slight difference. She knew a school that was only for girls but where boys attended on scholarship. The difference was that in this school the boys were protected so that nothing would happen to them. She had not contacted an old friend for a long time. Maybe she should try for the sake and happiness of her Aoi-chan. Days later, her sister with disinterest asks Aoi if he is still interested in going to school. He says yes. Even though he had heard all the wrong things they do to the boys of this world, he still wanted to go and see for himself. His sister says she might be able to get him a recommendation for a girls' school where OIA can go. Let me take a picture of you, Nasan, will make it look great. When she asked about it, her friend gave her a positive answer, but she demanded one of Aoi's photos so she could show it to her mother, the headmistress. Surely she just wants to see him. She would send them a photo of her future husband to introduce to them. She wonders if she could take some naughty photos of him for her. Without realizing it now, her whole family now wanted to take a picture of her. They were telling her to pose for the forums. Even Sumire told her to take off her clothes and give him a sexy look. She was sure this definitely had nothing to do with school. Her mother was happy since Sumire-chan got Aoi a safe school. Surely that school was safer than most of the boys' schools, right? The girls there were supposed to be educated like all ladies. She was supposed to be fine. Sakura was happy that her sister now could do what she wanted to do. If her Oni-chan is happy, then she also is. Anyway, she did not know that Oni-chan had a friend of that school. She felt guilty since she thought that her sister did not have friends. The one who was Sumire. The first picture she took was to send, but the others were just for them. The cell phone memory was filling up. It was full of Aoi. That sounds weird. She never thought that taking pictures could be so much fun. She even thought of one day shooting an adult video with Aoi. Damn! The next day her friend came to her house to see him. He was surprised when he saw Aoi's picture. He knew Sumire had a brother, but not that he knew he was such a nice guy. Sumire angrily tells him not to come into her house so suddenly, or Aoi might get scared if a woman he doesn't know approaches him. Why did she come to our house only a day after she sent him the photo? It had been a while since she saw her and she was still as energetic. This girl was only 4 years older than her. Maybe it was a mistake of hers to trust her to Aoi. The first thing the girl does is to ask Aoi to marry her. He is surprised, but she clarifies that she means it. He did not know what to answer since he had just met her. She tells him that although it did not seem so, she was the heiress of the Kono family. Aoi, upon knowing this, said that it would be even more of a contempt to do it with someone like him. She was sure that Kono-san would find someone better than him. She asked him if he had just rejected her, but then she said that it didn't matter. She was used to being rejected. She thinks Aoi is kind of a weird guy. Usually the men she has talked to have been so scared that they can't even have a proper conversation. Even the men who despise women just keep quiet when she mentions the surname Kono. This guy looks her straight in the eye and talks to her in an equal and normal way. She visits him early at her mother's request, but apparently he meets the entrance requirements, so she thinks that bodes well. Kono-san returned home as soon as he finished explaining the terms about the school, which were, act normal with the girls and get along with her though. As far as he knows, this was what children were told before going to elementary school. Kono Gakuen is the school that Aoi will attend. It seemed to be a school where she would have female chaperones, so that she can ensure that she can interact with her future escort targets without any problems. It literally says that a male student is assigned to each class. The purpose of this is to develop resistance to men. If a girl assaults a scholarship student, she will be forced to leave the school immediately. Scholarship students are assigned escorts, these being the ones with the best grades in each class. So far there have been no incidents where a girl has been forced to leave the school from what she was told. However, the scholarship students usually stopped going to school in the middle of the year because they couldn't stand the idea of interacting with girls, which is why the school offers free tuition for male scholarship students. The school has also improved its facilities and is attracting more and more male students, so she is told. Aoi thinks that he will be the only male in a class of 40 students and he is supposed to act normal with all the girls. Kono-san told him that, His acting normal will be like sweet poison to the girls in his class. He wondered what she meant by that. His first day of school had arrived. His whole family was gathered to say goodbye to him. His mother was crying and asking him not to leave. Sumire looked like he had fainted for a while, and Sakura was wishing him to have fun and good luck at school. Aoi was nervous, but he had to go. It seemed that his classmates had gone to pick him up at home and were outside waiting for him. We see that his mother was no longer sure about letting Aoi go to school. She had dirty thoughts. She thought that as cool as her son is, as soon as he enters the classroom he might do indecent things that I can't detail with the 40 girls. Sumire couldn't believe it. Even though she had done this for Aoi's sake, now she regretted it. She thought her brother was going to be used as a toy by those hot women, if you know what I mean.
No! No! No!
Her thoughts were drifting as she imagined her Aoi with other girls. Her body was getting happy, but she suddenly stops those thoughts. She couldn't think that she wanted Aoi's first time to be with her. Sakura wonders why when she thinks of Oniai-chan going to a school for girls she cannot sleep. She asked forgiveness to her brother for being such a jealous sister. She did not care how corrupt Aoi would become from now on. She only wished that in the end he would remain by her side. On the way out he sees how his new classmates introduce themselves. They tell them that they are sophomores and that from now on he will be their responsibility. The girl on the right introduces herself as Natsuki Inada, the girl in the middle introduces herself as Kono Kanaria, and lastly the one on the left is called Chabatake Mike. He introduces himself as Seiwo Aoi and asks them to please take care of him from now on. Natsuki Inada thinks it's great. He was able to greet them without any problems. They had previously taken care of another boy and he ignored them when they introduced themselves. Maybe they will get along well after all. Kono Kanaria thinks that Aoi is an even nicer man than he looked in the picture, as expected of her future husband. She says that in order not to bring the Kono family name into disrepute she will definitely protect Aoi-sama. Damn, this started off strong. Lastly, Chabatake is intrigued since he greeted them like a normal person. Maybe he wasn't a bad guy. Well, if she was too boring he might end up hating her and have her removed as his companion. If he turned out to be a pain in the ass she would dump him right away. Back at school Aoi asks Kono about the thing on her hip. She tells him it's a cane. The school provides them to the chaperones. Aoi says she wishes she had one of those. Surprised, Kono tells her that he already has a pretty attractive cane, but before she goes on talking she stops and asks Aoi to forget everything she had said. She was jumping the gun. They haven't had an ideal and hot couple talk yet, have they? She says to herself that Aoi's cane is for his future use. It wasn't something Aoi should grab on his own. Maybe by donating white liquid Aoi had to end up alone, but she as his future wife will have to do those things too. She will help him.